everyone. How are you doing today? Before we get started, just give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear the piano and the keyboard nice and clean, especially without any form of echoes. Let me know if you can hear keyboard and my microphone nice and clean without any echoes. Just give me a thumbs up in the chat, all right? I believe I've solved the echo in the vocal. Let me know if you're still hearing the echo in the vocal. Yeah, let me know if you're still getting the echo in the vocal. How's the vocal sound? The echo's gone? Just got to make sure that echo is no longer there. So give me a thumbs up once that echo in the vocal has disappeared. All right. KY Sheem says all is well. Welcome, folks. Please tap the like button, drop a comment, and share the live so we can get some more folks in here, and also put me on the YouTube homepage. If you could do that real quick, would really appreciate that. So far, we have 25 people up in here. Give the others another minute or so to join. But for those who are here, just tap the like button on the live and share it. You know, probably drop the link on your Facebook or in your WhatsApp group, you know. Get some more folks over here. We're going to be having some fun. I'm going to be answering some questions and, you know, talking about how I go about creating vamps, which utilizes a lot of turnarounds. Oops. You know, the vamps utilizes a lot of turnarounds and stuff like that. So it's going to be an interesting session today. You don't want your friends to miss it. All right, so shoot them a message. Let them know to jump over on the live. We're going to jump into that in a bit. Welcome, welcome. Drop in the chat where you guys joining me from today. Where you guys joining us from today? Shout out your country or your town or your state or your city. Love to hear it. Someone's saying, can we play in C sharp? Tell you what, because the two songs that I have prepared to demonstrate today, one's in A flat, the other is in F. But if you guys request a particular key, I'll try to do a quick demonstration of these concepts in various key for those who like specific key. Dr. Alexander, joining from South Africa. Welcome, man. We got classic chess from Nigeria. Also, we got the African representation today. Sam out of the UK. Mommy from Chicago. Who else we got? while the others are joining, just remember again to tap that like button, drop a comment, and share the live on your social media or your Facebook group so we can get some more folks up in here. Morris says, I would love you to play for me in B. It's my favorite. That's a strange key, man. B? I know a lot of folks like F sharp, a lot of folks like C, a lot of folks like C sharp. But B, man, whoo! I think B major is like one of my least favorite key, if I'm being honest. Piano lesson with Bless, watching from Ghana. Welcome, welcome. We got 27 people so far. Like the chat, drop a comment. Let's get some more folks up in here. Drop a comment. Let us know where you're joining from. We're going to be starting in a bit. We're going to be talking about creating turnarounds. Not turnarounds. We're going to be talking about creating vamps. We'll get rolling once I have 30 people up in here, and then the others will join. But in the meantime, shout out where you're joining us from. We already got a nice representation from the African contingency. That's always nice. Where's my US folks? Bishop from Georgia. Welcome, Georgia. Representation for South. Next door to me, I'm down in Florida, Jacksonville. We have Kanye from South Africa. Baron from Kenya. Man, I love it. African representation. Got Simon from Atlanta. All right, we just hit 30 people. Good. Continue to like the chat, click that like button, drop a comment, and share the live. So, welcome folks. Today, we're going to talk about creating vamps. Vamps is a very important part of gospel music because it is just used extensively. And while not every song lends itself well to vamp, most songs do. And most gospel churches or even CCM churches will find, you'll find the worshipers, the song leaders doing some form of vamp, right? So it's something you should equip yourself with, get understanding with, and just kind of know how to use it, even if it's in its basic level. So that's what I'm going to demonstrate for you guys today using 2 songs. But first, I have a little excerpt here that I want to read for you, for those of you who aren't familiar with vamp at all. So in gospel music, a vamp is a short, repeated musical phrase or chord progression used to build intensity, transition between sections, or extend a part of a song. So that's really what a vamp is. Vamps are often employed to create a sense of anticipation, support improvisation. It's usually heavily improvised, both for the musicians and for the vocalist. Also allow dynamic interaction between the musicians and the vocalist, right? It's just become this huge improvisatory worship session type thing. Kirk Franklin employs it in almost every song he creates. So if you're like, give me an example of a vamp, pull up any Kirk Franklin song and I guarantee you towards the end, you'll hear some form of vamp, that repeated section that generally intensifies, and that's when the musicians go wild with passing chords and stuff like that. They typically involve a few chords and often repeat for varying lengths of time. Sometimes vamps can be twice as long as the actual song itself, you know. I've seen 10-minute vamps, longer than that, right, in church. Vamps also providing a flexible framework that enhances the emotional and spiritual impact of the performance or of the worship. So that's really what vamp is. It's a different, another section of the song. So typically a song structure, you'll have an introduction, you have a verse, you have a chorus, you may have another verse, then it goes into like a bridge, and then comes the vamp. And that vamp can go forever. But it's a very important part of songs. So sometimes that's where the intensification happens and the worship happens. And just as a side note, guys, I always like to do a little Q&A towards the end of my lives. So I'm gonna, if you have some questions, which I'm sure you guys always do, just start thinking about the questions that you'd like me to address for you and just write them down, right? So you can keep them concise. Towards the end, I'll open up the floor for some Q&As, answer some of your questions. And the questions doesn't always have to be related to the topic that I'm going to talk about, right? I'm sure you may have questions on other subjects. I'll try to address as many of those, all right? So for now, we're just going to be talking about vamps. And if you have questions, you can share them later. Big up Andrew from out of Jamaica, land of my birth, as always. Good. All right, so let me jump in and give you some practical examples, right? Because it's always good to see the stuff from the practical side of vamp. So I'm going to jump to the key of A flat, right? So we're in the key of A flat, and I'm going to look at the song, How Great Is Our God, because everybody know that song. So, how great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God? All will sing, how great is our God, right? I'm just going to put some more volume on my keys. So that's typically what the song is, and people just loop that section. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God? All will sing, how great is our God. But sometimes the singers now will like to take that ending and turn it in a vamp, where they're just doing, how great is our God. 1, 2, 3. How great is our God. That's the vamp. They're taking that ending part and they're looping it. And so as the pianist now, we need to find a way to create a loop, a turnaround that allows us to loop that section effortless. So what is that? How do we go about those chords? So the original song, that section starts on the 4, right? How great to the 5 is our God. Then they would go again. How great is our God. So what we're trying to do is avoid going to the 1, create a loop that takes us back to the 4, because that's where the vamp starts. So that's what I'm going to show you today, how I'm going to create a loop to get there. There are a few ways to do that, right? Great, how great, to go to the 6, is our God. How great is our God. So that's one way. So what am I doing right there? Let's show you the chords. Break down, talk about a little bit of the theory, right? So instead of going to the 1, which is the A flat, I go to the 6. Now, how did I know the 6 would work? Because it's a part of the melody of the chord, right? Great, this is the melody. How great is our God. So whether we go to the 1 or the 6, the melody works. So that's the first cue or clue. So you know, you could go to the 6. And then from the 6, I'm just doing a resolution to that 2. So I could just go to the 2 dominant because it's also part of the melody. How great is our God. That's it. And then from there you go back to the 4. How great is our God. How great is our God. And the singers then get to go wild with their runs and all of that. And you just stay here. So that's the basis of it. Go to the 6 into the 2. Then from there, I can start to add more improvisatory material and extend my chord. So then I can go, how great is our God. I could go, I like that. So all I'm doing, I'm playing my 6 like that, and then I'm moving through the chord. Triads, right? Diatonic triads. So in this case, it's just a 1 in first inversion, 2 in first inversion, 1 in second inversion, 4 in first inversion. But then instead of just resolving it to a typical dominant, I resolve it and extend this chord into a B flat 13th with that chordal stack on the top. Right? So that's the first change I did. How great is our God. How great is our God. And then that takes you back to the 4. So that's the first way you can start to extend that. Keep on going. What I can do, instead of before going to the 6, I can set it up with a secondary dominant. And for those of you who are just like, man, what are all these terms? Y'all need to go check out pianolessonwithwarren.com. I cover all of this stuff in details, right? Right now we're running a 7-day free trial. You can get unfeathered access to my program for 7 days for free. Check it out, see if it's something that's right for you. But a lot of this stuff that I'm covering today is covered in more details there, right? So what we can do, set up that 6 with a secondary dominant, which is just basically the 5 of 6. So I can go to the the C7 before going to the F. So then that sounds like this in context. How great is our God, then how great. See that C7? 1, 2, 3, 4 to my 6. Then my movement. So adding that secondary dominant before the 6, take you to the 6, then that 6 go to the 2, and that's how you create a loop. We're gonna keep going. So what you can then do is alter this C7 into a C, a sharp 9 chord, right? I'm just doubling up the 7 here, but that gives it, a little bit more dissonance. And then what I'm doing now with the bass is approaching that C via a chromatic descent to that. So in context now you have how great is our God. How great is our God. There we go. Now, last thing I'm going to show you on this is, before going back to the 4, from that dominant 2, you can use a 1 chord in first inversion to get there. And I'm using this specific voicing. So I have my 3rd root, add 9, 5 root. That takes you nice as the 4. So in context, it sounds like this. How great is our God. Then, right, see it? Just start putting the runs and stuff. There's a lot of place this can go with the runs, right? But I'm not going to go too far down the rabbit hole with that. So that's one way how you can create a vamp for a song like How Great Is Our God. Now, take a note of the context and the concept that I'm using. The first thing I did was establish where in the song I'm going to put the vamp. The second thing is establishing on what chord is that vamp starting. Because it's all about creating that circular loop. So we need to know what that starting chord is. It's not always the 1. As you can see in this case, the starting chord for that vamp is the 4. So whatever loop I'm creating is to take me back to 4. Sometimes the starting chord for that loop can be the 6. Sometimes it can be the 2. Sometimes it can be the 5. First, we got to establish that and then determine what the chord is and then reverse engineer and figure out how we're going to create that loop. This is where the cycles of fourth comes in handy because the cycle of fourth naturally creates this circle. So even though we're not using all the chords in the cycle of fourth because that really means using all 12 tones of the piano, in this case you can see I went to 6, then to 2. Then I reverse, then I add the 3, the 6, the 2, then that 1 in first inversion, take me back to the 4. And that's how I created the cycle. So I'm starting to use notes. I have 3 chords moving in fourths. And a lot of the time in vamps and turnarounds, you need to have that fourth movement. Some people call it 7/3/6, some people call it 2/5/1. Whatever you label it as, just know that you gotta have that some form of a fourth movement going, or else it's hard to create a vamp. let's take one more song. I was just glancing the chat. I see someone say, he knows my name, ending of the song, and he hears me when I call. Those songs sounds familiar, but the melody's not coming to me. He knows my name. Is that the Tasha Cobb song? He knows my name. Is that the one? He knows my name. He knows my name. He knows my name. And oh, how he... Is that the song? That song doesn't really, if that's the song you're referring to, that song doesn't really lend itself well to a vamp because it's literally 2 chords. You're just going between the 1 and the 4. There kind of isn't anywhere to go after that, right? So it's hard to create a vamp out of just a 2-chord song. The other one you mentioned is the, and he hears me when I call. I don't know that one. Is that the same song? I don't know that one. Unfortunately, I don't know that one. I would have to go research it. But I have a second song here that we can explore, because I always like to do this so you see contrast. Take Alpha and Omega. Everybody knows that one, right? Alpha and Omega. I'm going to play this one in the key of F, right? So you are Alpha and Omega. Where is it? We worship you, our Lord. You are worthy to be praised. You are Alpha and Omega. Everybody know that song, right? Can you identify where is the most logical spot in that song that a singer would turn into a vamp? Think about it for a sec. Where's the most logical part to turn into a vamp? It would be the ending of the song. And 90% of the time, if not 99% of the time, it's usually that ending part of the chorus that they take and turn it into a vamp. So in this case, the vamp would be, you are worthy to be praised. You are worthy to be praised. And you just keep going, right? Someone say, is the note shown in the thumbnail what you're playing? Yes, I'm playing that exact same note. But the piano sound that you're hearing isn't generated from the note. That's generated from Addictive Keys piano, which is the soft synth piano that I use. So now, how do I create a vamp for that section? Again, we have to identify what chord are we on when we're playing that, right? So I did. So I need to get back to this chord, which is a 1 in 5 second inversion. Then to the 2, You are worthy to be praised. So the way I would create a vamp to get to here, I would do be praised. I'm just doing this walk down. You are worthy to be praised. So after I get to my 1, I do what's dominant, inverted dominant. So I have the 7 in the bass because I'm trying to get to 6. Now, when you get to the 6, you have the options to do a few things. You can just go to a regular 6, or you can go to a 6, sort of like a minor 11. But I like that open minor 11, meaning I'm not playing the 3rd. Now from here, I'm going to a 2 minor 7 flat 5, not a regular 2, because that's what I've been using before in the song. And then that takes me to my 1 and 2nd inversion. You are worthy to be praised. Right? Be praised. And you are worthy to be praised. And then you can just start putting in some rhythm. I can also avoid this 1 and go directly to the 6 using some series of 2/5 passing, right? So you are worthy to be praised. E. E altered dominant to A to D, or I'm actually playing the D, and then to this. You know, so that's one way if you want to dark it up a bit. I probably wouldn't use that one. You are worthy to be praised. I like this one better. That's probably the one I would go with. So now I'm doing 1 5 in first inversion, dominant, 6, 2. You are worthy to be praised. You are worthy to be praised. So let me just go a little bit slower so you guys can really see the chords I'm playing there. So I'm doing to be praised, 5 in first inversion, inverted dominant, drop to a 6, open without the third, resolve to a flat 9, then to my 2 minor 7 flat 5, then to my 5. Or my 1 in second inversion, right? And then all I'm doing is just weaving in melodic runs in that. So then we come to be praised. So that's how I would create a vamp for a song like that. So now I gave you guys 2 songs, How Great Is Our God and Alpha and Omega. Once this live stream is finished, you can come back as many times as you need, replay it, harvest it, but most importantly, try to implement it right away, right? Because you want that knowledge to stay here, and the best way to do it is you gotta start doing it. Watching it and understanding it isn't good enough. You got to go and then implement it right away so it gets into the muscle memory as well, right? So most songs has the ability for creating vamps using the system of turnaround chords, right? It's a very unique skill, and that's one you guys should, explore deeper, right? What I'm going to do now, I'm going to take some questions, right? So for those of you who've been taking been around, I always take questions. Few housekeeping rules before we start, because the chat's always moving fast with comments. Write the word question before your question. This way, visually, when I'm looking, I can scan the questions from just regular comments easily. And again, guys, be sure to tap that like button. Drop a comment in the chat and share the live so other people can come in and benefit from what I'm offering here today. Share it on Facebook, drop it in your WhatsApp group, or wherever else you want to share it. I'd much appreciate that, all right? The more people we get in here, the more YouTube pushes the live on the home screen. But yeah, throw some questions in the chat, whether it's related to what we covered today or just, other little musical questions, things that's bugging you and you need some clarification on, you need some guidance and direction. All right. And as always, guys, appreciate you coming here and hanging out. Let's see if there's any questions in the chat. So this is an unrelated question to what we discussed today. Mansaya says, what do you think about Ravenscraft and Keyscape in terms of piano? Very good pianos from what I've heard. I don't personally own them in my database, but they've been around for a while and they're tried and true virtual pianos. I've seen demos of them, I've seen guys play them, and they sound great. I would totally buy them, but I don't need all this different piano sounds. One of the beauty of having these virtual pianos, so whether you have Addictive Keys, Ravenscraft, or Keyscape, they come with the ability to customize, which means you can really create your own unique sound. And that's what I like. So once you have that ability, you realize you don't really need all of these different keyboard sounds. If you're a producer, maybe, but I'm not a producer, so I don't need to have that vast database of different piano sounds. My Addictive Keys, I just put a few tweaks here till I get it to sound the way I like, and that's it. You know, I don't need other sound. But those are a very good brand if you're looking to upgrade to a virtual piano. That's the name of the game now, guys. So when people ask me like, what's the best keyboard to buy? I'm like, I don't know. In fact, the Nord is the last keyboard I have bought, and it's probably going to be the last one I ever buy. Why? Virtual pianos have gotten so good now, and they're so inexpensive that you don't need to buy a $2,000-$3,000 keyboard anymore, right? So I'm probably never going to buy a new keyboard. I prefer to just work with soft synths, because it's a lot easier to manipulate and tweak, and it's easy to travel with so long you have a laptop. So I don't know what's the latest keyboard on the market, and I don't care, because to get the same quality as a Keyscape and Addictive Keys or Ravenscraft, to get that same quality in a board, you're looking at a couple $1,000s easy. So I don't think it's worth it personally. So I haven't bought a new keyboard in years, and I probably won't. So that's my thoughts on that. Lars says, do you know any Rascal Flatts songs by any chance? No idea. I'm not even sure who that is. Is that an artist? Unfortunately, no. My listening is not as wide as it used to be, unfortunately. So if it's not if the song's not a couple of years old, I probably don't know it. And if it's not a gospel song, there's a strong chance I don't know it, because that's all the stuff I listen to now, right? Lars also says, can you show me? Oh yeah, that's related to the same question. Nico says, which part of the song are usually the vamp? The part that is a high notes or low notes? No, so it's not about the notes. The vamp's usually the ending of a chorus or the ending of a verse, mostly the chorus. So once you can identify the chorus of that song, that ending part typically can be turned into a vamp. And that's the part that's a vamp. And that's a good exercise for you guys. For all the songs that you typically listen to or play, for just the mental exercise, every time you hear a song, see if you can identify the part of the song that can be turned into a vamp. Because it really comes with practice to be able to quickly identify that, yeah, that part can turn into a vamp. So that when singers do it spontaneously, you'll be like, okay, yeah, I know. I knew that was going to come, you know. So it's something you can certainly just practice through just listening. Say, okay, I think that part. Because here's the thing, if you're not able to sing it as a loop without the rest of the song, chances are it can't really work as a vamp. And again, guys, for those of you who've been following me for a while, and if you haven't checked out pianolessonwithwarren.com yet, you're doing yourself a disservice. This is all I do full time. For those of you who don't know, YouTube and teaching piano online, teaching gospel piano by ear is what I do full time. It's what I've been doing full time since 2019. Even though you guys who've been around, my more veteran guys, you know I've been on YouTube since like 2014, 2015. But 2019 is when I really full time, this is all I do. So I dedicate every waking moment of my day to solving problems for you guys, right? And pianolessonwithwarren.com is where I pour all my efforts. So if you've been stuck and you're really looking for guidance to go to the next level, you should certainly give pianolessonwithwarren.com a shot, all right? Frank says, I'm an intermediate keyboardist, but I have not been playing piano for some time, for like about 6 months. How would you advise I pick up? Because right now I don't know where to start from. All right, so if you're rusty and you're trying to get back into the game, one of the couple things I always tell people to start doing is just get warm up again. Like, for example, if you were a track star in high school, right? You used to run track and everything, and you decide, you know what, I want to get back into sports, or I want to get back into fitness. The first thing you do is probably just get your body back in shape, right? So you'd start training again, you'd start running again, you start lifting weights again. You do whatever the things you need to do to get back in shape to pursue that sports. So you can treat piano the same way. So to get back into growing, I always tell people, start with the technique related things. Get a little bit more fluent with your scales again, your arpeggios, right? Start practicing isolated chord progressions again to get that sort of, what you call it, subconscious memory activated again, right? So you basically, it's like dusting off the carpet, right? So to get back in the game, start with working out the technique. Start practicing those scales again, arpeggios, block chords, broken chords, isolated progressions. And then after doing that for, depending how long you need, could be a few days, could be a few weeks, then get back into learning songs. I always tell people, remember that your core goal for learning the piano is so you can play songs. So approximately 50% of your practice time needs to be spent on learning songs and playing songs. So if you find that you're not doing that, then you're wasting time. So when I say, how many songs you know, and people are like, I don't know any, then what have you been doing with your time? You don't want to just spend time practicing scales and block chords and arpeggios and technique-related activities. Eventually, you need to start learning and mastering songs and progressions and chords and all of that. So that's what I would recommend to you, Frank. My brother says, CC Winans, Holy Forever. What's the question about that? You're asking, is there a place to turn into a vamp? That's the chorus. Let the people sing, holy, da, 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 holy, holy forever. You are always holy forever. That's the vamp. You will always be holy forever. You will always be holy forever. Holy forever. So I know for that song, the vamp starting on the 2. So the goal is to create chord progressions that leads you back to 2. So in this case, when I get to the 1, I'm doing 7, 3, 6. Takes me back to 2. Holy, once I've established what chords I'm going to play, then my next focus is on melodic runs that I can weave into the chord progression. Great example there, my brother. Lars says Mirror by Michael Jackson. Lars, if you're new here, unfortunately, I only cover gospel songs. Not that I don't know Man in the Mirror. I've never really played it to be able to demonstrate, but it's important to note that all of these concepts that I'm teaching can be applied to any song. But I don't know Man in the Mirror in terms of like well enough to play it and demonstrate these concepts, because I've spent the last 10 years of my life just exclusively focusing on gospel songs. So that's why I'm quick when it comes to regurgitating gospel songs and being able to play them, because that's all I spend my time listening, studying, playing, and teaching right now. So I'm not going to be able to whip out any pop songs or R&B and that stuff, because I don't listen to that stuff anymore. Sorry about that, my brother. Junior, Eagle Eye Christian Junior School says, Warren, how can I improve my songs from triads to advanced chords? What you need is a system, because there isn't one word or a phrase I can give you that and say do that. It's a system, right? It's kind of like someone saying, Warren, how do I improve my education from that of a primary school student to that of a high school student? There's a lot of systems and classes and studies that you have to go through to get from a primary school to a high school student. So it's the same thing. Going from basic triads to advanced chords require a system. This is the system that I offer over at pianolessonwithwarren.com. A system that I've been spending the last couple of years perfecting, laying out, so you're learning songs, you're learning chord progression in a systematic way that gradually improves and challenge you, and that's how you get to advance, because we can't just leap from beginner to advanced, right? So even if I show you a bunch of advanced chords now, not only will it not make sense to you, you won't be able to replicate it across other songs, because you don't understand how I went from the basic to the advanced. You need a system that connects so you can see a trajectory. This is how we got there, and you need to be able to see that across multiple songs in different keys. That's what I offer over at pianolessonwithwarren.com. At least that's just a portion of what I offer. There are many more things that we offer over there. So that's what I would recommend to you. So Elijah is saying, can you play the song Hold to God on Changing Hands? Traditional gospel way. Do it old school. Put me on the spot now. Let me see what I got. Oh, hold to his hands. God's unchanging hands. Oh, you gotta hold to his hands. God's unchanging hands. Build your hope on things eternal. Hold to God's unchanging hands. Oh, you gotta hold to his hands. God's unchanging hands. Oh, you gotta hold to his hands. God's unchanging hands. Build your hope on things eternal. Hold to God's unchanging hands. That's all I can do on the fly. Great song, great song. All right. How do you play, and this is from James, how do you play We Will Glorify Kings of Kings Contemporary? I don't know that song. Well, the title is not ringing a bell. Maybe I do know the song, but the title isn't ringing a bell for me. We Will Glorify Kings of Kings. That's not ringing a bell for me, unfortunately. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this name right. Damon Roy says, what passing chords can I use if I want to change it to minor or major chords? Well, I'm not quite sure when you say change it. Change what? What are you changing? Because when we talk about changing a song from minor chords to major chords and vice versa, we're talking about changing the tonality. It's not an easy feat. That would be like, how do I change the painting of my house? It's a lot of work. Before you can change the tonality of the song, you have to change the melody. Because remember that the melody lives in the tonality. So if I'm playing in the key of F, the melody is going to have notes of the key of F. If I want to change the song to F minor, I have to change the melody to now match F minor. It's a whole process. It's not something you can just pull out of thin air, especially if you're doing it accompanimental style. Now you can do it. I've done it all the time. But I do it for like educational purposes, right? But it's not something we just do like that. We just change the tonality of a song, right? We just don't do that because it's going to sound different. Great question. Continue to tap the like button, guys, and share the live. So Samson says, can you do For Your Glory by Tasha Cobbs? What would you like me to do with it? It's a popular song, you know. For your glory. Let me try to do it in B flat. For your glory, I will do anything just to see you, to behold you as my King. I wanna be where you are. Peace is who you are. I wanna be where you are. Da 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 da. I don't quite remember all the chords. Oh, your glory, I will do anything just to see you, just to behold you as my King. I wanna be where you are. Pieces you are, up you are. That's all I kind of remember, but I'm not sure what you want me to do with it when you say do that song. How to use the 13th chord in a progression. So that's a very random question that doesn't really have context, because you can literally use a 13 chord anywhere. But it all depends on context. It would be if someone say, how do I use the word conspiracy in a sentence? There's a lot of ways you can do it. So if you get more specific on what you're trying to achieve, then I can get more specific with my answer. But a 13 chord can be used anywhere. It has to be done in a context. So I like when you guys say, how would you use this chord in this song? Now we have a context, because then I can show you the chord and I can show you where I would use it in a song. Now you have a practical application of the question. But when you throw it out there open like that, then I don't know, because there are many ways, right? So it's important that when you're thinking about musical concepts, you're thinking about it contextual, because the context is going to change from song to song, which means where we use a chord also changes from song to song. It's never going to be the same places, right? Who else we got? Let me see. Bishop says, play Jesus on the main line. Tell him what you want. Jesus on, let's do it in F. Jesus on the main line. Tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line. Tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line. Tell him what you want. I call him up. Tell him what you want. If you want your body healed, tell him what you want. If you want your body healed, tell him what you want. If you want your body healed, tell him what you want. Call him up, tell him what you That's how I play it. Piano of the Simplest says, Warren, can you switch to African music? I wish I could, because I really do like, was it Sambian? Sambian? Y'all know, I'm Jamaican, man, so we share a lot of cross-cultural similarities with Africa in terms of rhythm and music. So I really do love a lot of African music. I just don't know any, right? Because oftentimes it's in a different language. It's not in English. I only speak English. So funny enough, I was doing a Zoom lesson with a brother from Kenya yesterday, and he pulled up. I can't even remember the name of the song right now, again, because the title is not in English, so I can't remember it. But he pulled up a song, and immediately, as soon as I heard it, I was like, I know what to do rhythmically with this, because he wanted me to help him with some rhythm. But it was so cool, because I'm just like, I know what to do rhythmically with some of these African songs, because it sounds very similar to Jamaican traditional gospel. But I don't know any well enough to be able to play it. First of all, I wouldn't be able to sing it, because it's not in English, and I don't speak. Africa got so many different languages too. You got French and a lot of dialects and stuff. So I'm way out of my wheelhouse. But I can guarantee you, if I hear an African song, I immediately know what to do rhythmically on the piano, because a lot of it reminds me of Jamaican traditional music. Yeah. But one of the things you guys can do, when you come across a cool, popular African gospel song, send it to me so I can learn it. And then I can present it on the channel, right? Because y'all know I'm in the United States, so we don't sing African gospel songs here. So when I go to church to play, I just got to learn the songs that they sing here, which is why I'm not familiar with a lot of African church. But I wish I could play more of that stuff, just not in my vocabulary. So someone said, play God, Hold to God and Changing Hands. I did that earlier. I actually did that earlier. Good, good, good. Frank says, how does the minor scale work? Is it like the major scale where the 1, the 4, and the 5 are majors, 2, 3, 6 are minor chords? Frank, right here on YouTube, I have a video that talks in detail on the minor key. You should go look that up. Just type in minor keys, piano lesson with Warren, and you should see a few videos talking about that. But I like to think of the minor scale is like the inverse of the major scale. What I mean is, in a major key, let's take C for example, right? In the major key, the 1, the 4, and the 5 is major. The reverse is for the minor. In a minor key, the 1, the 4, and the 5 is minor. Now, we often play the 5 as major anyways, to give it that dominant to 1. So you can just think of it as the 1, the 4 is minor. The rest of the chord gets a little bit tricky, right? Because then the 2 is diminished. The 3 is major. So 3, 6 is major. So that's why I say it's like the reverse, right? In the major key, the 3 and the 6 are minor. In the minor key, the 3 and the 6 is major. The 2 is diminished. The 7, depending on what's going on, because we got 3 different minor scales: melodic, harmonic, and the natural. Oftentimes when we're playing in a minor key, you'll sometimes find a song going between the natural and the harmonic, which means sometimes the 7 can be major, which is B flat, thinking about C minor, right? So sometimes the 7 can be major, or it could be diminished with the B natural, because sometimes the natural has the B flat, the harmonic has the B natural, and the harmonic, the natural has the B flat. But check out that video that I post, because it covers a lot of that stuff more in detail. All right. Who else got? I could take a few more questions, guys. Who else got some questions for me? Someone say, play Dunson's song. They sound like contemporary worship. No idea who Dunson's is, unfortunately. Someone says, what U.S. city are you in? Jacksonville, Florida. So if y'all pass through Jacksonville, hit me up. We could go grab coffee or eat some food or something. Question from, I can't pronounce that, for Nate. Nate says, Donnie McClurkin, I got my mind made up reggae style. Y'all just put me on the spot now, huh? I think I know that one. I got my mind made up, and I won't go back. And I want to see my Jesus someday. I got my mind made up, and I won't turn back, 'cause I want to see my Jesus someday. I got my mind made up, and I won't turn back, 'cause I want to see my Jesus someday. I got my mind made up, and I won't turn back, 'cause I want to see my Jesus someday. I can play reggae style because I'm Jamaican, y'all. That's the stuff I grew up listening to. So it's like one of the first things I learned how to do is how to play reggae on keyboards. Stanley says, can you break down Still by Mali Music? That's not ringing a bell, unfortunately. Or All We Ask by Donnie McClurkin. I don't think I know that one. So it's also important to know, guys, I don't know every song. I know it feels like I do, but I don't. And sometimes some of the songs I know, but by just reading the title of the song, it may not ring a bell in the moment, right? So I can only play the ones that as soon as I see the title, it comes back to me. Play Gyra. Gyra, that song, is that by Maverick Music? I know it, but I can't remember it right now. But I know that one, Gyra. I would need a jump start of the melody. It's not coming to me. It's like it's on the tip of my tongue. But I see the thing with playing by ear. If you can't remember the melody, you're not going to be able to remember the chords either. So right now, I know Gyra, because I think that's the Maverick City tune, but I can't remember the melody. And because I don't remember the melody, the chords, I don't know the chords either. Once I remember the melody, I also will remember the chords. Can you break down? Okay, I read that already. So piano, to the simplest, says, Warren, I struggle with hand coordination. So what that simply means, my brother, you need to spend more time on technique-related activities. That's where coordination comes from. So you need to do a lot of hands-together activities, like scales, arpeggios, block chords, broken chords, like. I haven't practiced these things in a while, but hand coordination and all that, it's a technique-related issue. You just haven't done enough technical work, hands together, to be able to develop that independence, right? There is no easier way to do it. There's no quick fix either, because we're talking about training the hands, the muscles, and the brain to be able to think independently of each other. That takes time, and it takes consistent technical exercises to get there. But once you get there, it's a skill you don't lose. You just, you don't lose, right? 5641 for Gyra. Thanks, man. See, once I saw the progression, then I could remember, you are Gyra, you are enough, Gyra, you are enough. Now I don't remember the verse. That's all I can remember. That's all I can remember. But thank you for the chords, though. Elijah says, play the song Glory, Glory, Hallelujah, since I lay my burden down. Do it in the key of C, old school. Glory, glory, hallelujah, since I lay my burdens down. Glory, glory, hallelujah, since I lay my burdens down. Glory, glory, hallelujah, since I lay my to that song? I think that's all I know of it. I could take one more question. Who's going to be the lucky person? Olsina, am I pronouncing that correctly? Olsina says, been recently played a lot of CCM and losing my gospel touch in passing chord. Music can be really diverse. Is it possible to be gospel and CCM pianist at the same time? You're looking at one. The church that I attend is exclusively CCM. They don't do anything gospel. But it's also because I've spent the last 20 years learning gospel, so that's ingrained in me right now, so that's not something I'm going to lose. But if you feel that you're getting rusty with the gospel stuff, that just simply means when you're at home, listen, play, and practice gospel stuff. Because the CCM stuff is not hard. It doesn't require a lot of work in terms of learning. The songs are simple, the progressions are simple. So, you know, if you want to be able to straddle two worlds at home, all gospel, hardcore stuff. And then when you go to church, you do the CCM stuff. And that's how you can keep your gospel stuff sharp. Victory is mine, and we have the victory. Oh, that where it usually go to? Victory, victory is mine. Victory is mine. Victory today is mine. I told Satan, let me deny. Victory today is mine. Joy is mine. Joy is mine. Joy today is mine. I told Satan, let thee behind. Joy today is mine. How would you practice? How would your practice session go? What do you practice? For me, if I'm being honest, I just learn songs now. That's it. I learn songs for church. I learn songs for YouTube to teach you guys, and for the program over at Pianist with Warren, I just spend time now learning a lot of songs. Now, part of why I have the luxury of doing that, or the freedom to do that, I've spent the last 15 years of my musical careers crafting and developing my technique. So I don't spend a lot of time on technique-related activities anymore. I just learn as many songs as I can, and then learn how to transform those songs through passing chords, licks, runs, just take them crazy. And I do that with every song. CCM song, gospel song. That's been what I've been focusing on over the past 10 years, is how can I take any song and make it sound gospel, and vice versa. How can I take any gospel song and make it not sound gospel? I just spend time changing things. Because learning songs for me is not a challenge anymore. Hasn't been for a long time. So to keep myself entertained, I take songs and try to transform them by just filling them with passing chords without losing their essence. You know, just a lot of improvisatory work. But guys, I got to stop here for today. But it was fun as always. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Still continue to tap the like button and share the live with someone. You know, post this stuff on your social media. Little things like that help the channel. If you're not subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the live and everything like that. And again, for those of you who've been in the ecosystem for a while and you feel like you could use some more guidance and some more direction to take your piano playing to the next level, I would highly recommend you check out pianolessonwithwarren.com. It's my membership program. It's my prime offer. That's where I put my sweat, blood, and tears. Well, not blood, but my sweat and efforts, right? It's a structured program that really takes you from beginner to advanced. What we do over there is basically take the guessing game out of learning piano. Because for those of you who are self-taught, I'm sure you know, every day you wake up, you got 1,000,001 questions with no ways of answering them. And I can guarantee you, while YouTube is a great place to pick up tips and tricks, it's not a place for long-term sustainable growth. You're going to need to work with somebody that can help you with the step-by-step process. And that's what we offer over at pianolessonwithwarren.com. So head over there, check us out. We got a free trial that we run. So you waste nothing. If it's not for you, that's fine, right? Come over there, check it out. Love to see you guys, right? Have a blessed week, and we'll talk soon. All right? Take care.